Okay, since I'm number one in this interview, I can tell you that one of the most precious moments of all of us is the merry-go-round. I had the red seat, Barb had blue. Number one, I get to say it first. I will always remember the merry-go-round that all of us children and grandchildren, the older grandchildren, have enjoyed. Dad made it before Sharon was even born. I was, I think, in second grade. My seat was red, Barb's was green, Donnie's yellow, and Greg was blue. And we rode it and rode it and rode it. We used to go there after we ate dinner and sit there with our ice cream cones and books and ride the merry-go-round. And we would try to play the game where I can't walk and I can walk, depending where we were in the merry-go-round. Another memory of mine was when we tore down the old house in '65. Can't believe it, almost 25 years ago. And we lived in the hog house. Wonderful memories of the hog house. Mom would get mad at us if we were up on the roof because the house would get so dusty. Our dishes were kept in the dishwasher and the boys were on one side of the hog house and the girls were on the other side, and Paul was by Mom and Dad. And we moved into the house in the summer of '65. First in the basement, and then we totally moved in. And another thing I was thinking of is bean walking. We used to dread the days where we could hear Dad sharpening the knives and getting us all out of bed. So to walk the bean fields. The school bus coming from the north after they just picked up the Weiss boys, and someone would be watching out the north window, and at that time there were a lot of trees out the back row, and then as soon as someone saw the bus, we would all holler like crazy, "The bus is coming," and we would have to run down the driveway to catch up to them. But if we had time, we would sit on the bridge, because at that time the bridge had railings, and that was really neat, always playing down there by the creek in the ditch. Looking for a spot to do this interview. Well, we had to go through the house looking for a clear spot because everybody's kind of camped out all over the house. But it made me think of the days we had the chinchillas and when they were kept down in the bathroom down here. And what made me think of coming back down here and talking was, it made me think of the 2-minute impromptu speeches we had to do in 8th grade. Now, I bet at least 5 of us did a speech on chinchillas while we were raising them. Mary Jo, take 3. Okay, and back to the story about how we were moving up to the hog house. It ended up having the worst blizzard that I could ever remember, and I had the mumps the night that we were moving into the hog house. And Mom woke me up to say, "Come look at the snow," and I passed out because the snow was up above the door, and that was just too much for me to all take in. But we didn't have heat, and that was the most Mom had ever do. I think it probably was 8 of us kids, and she had to keep us all entertained because no electricity, no heat, and some of us had the mumps.
Mumps. I also had the mumps. As I recall, I was the first one to recover from it, at least most of the way. I had to go outside and help Dad hook up an LP line after Dad had gone part way to Austinville with the tractor and ended up walking the rest of the way. And when he came back walking, his eyebrows were full of ice and his face was full of ice, even though he had worn the welding helmet to block the wind. We had to hook up a hired man's LP tank into the existing LP tank at the hog house. The snow was coming in as fast as Dad was digging down to the LP tank, so I had to go out there and help him in the blizzard, and that was a memorable experience to me. There are many, many, many experiences that I've had on this place. One of them is with the Quarter 60 and the Mighty Mac tractors that Dad had made out of car rear ends and 4-cylinder engines. One of them is playing with one down at the lower barn on the empty concrete lot around the silo. I was going round and round as well as with Donnie on his, and I had the tractor up on 2 wheels, and it was quite scary to me. Fortunately, I didn't roll it. We got it all 4 tires back in the ground like it should be. Other experiences I've had is helping Dad do chores many nights after school, carrying silage from the cow lot up to the hog house, which we had lived in at one time. I was up in the field west of the hog house one spring with these homemade tractors, and I had the tractor with the disc, and we got stuck. And we didn't want to get Dad's help to pull it out, so Donnie and I were determined to get it pulled out ourselves. So we took the other tractor with a law chain, hooked it in front of the other tractor, and to pull it out. And evidently I jerked the tractor, and the law chain snapped and came flying at me, hitting me in the back of the head. Break. From the quarter 60.
And there was the Mighty 1 and the Mighty 2.
I thought it was Mighty Mac, but you might be right.
Remember you had the Mighty 2 and you go around the silo on 2 wheels?
Yes, I mentioned that. I enjoyed that.
Then you take the AC way up the road, way up the dirt road.
The AC. With the...
Truck rear end, truck transmission.
Okay, the big one. Yeah, that was a big tractor.
And that had a PTO on it.
Remember the tractor with the loader that was made out of a furnace?
Yeah.
Big heavy loader, and I had that up in the air and I tipped over onto a snowbank. But then that was in the wintertime, the snow was soft.
Remember climbing out of Lime Pit?
Yeah, we went out there with the Jeep one Sunday.
Yeah, we got hung up, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. We needed a set of tires in the middle of that thing.
You remember taking Grandpa King's car out in Beansfield? We played Demolition Derby. I had Grandpa's car and you had the Rambler.
I was gonna say the yellow Rambler. That's how we learned to drive. We went out to the hay fields and drove around it.
Poor hay. I imagine Dad got a poor crop of hay that year.
Take 3.
In 1965, we went to summer school for 6 weeks in Iowa City. It was my first time away getting a college experience and being away from the family.
College experience.
Anyway, I came home that year and moved into this new house, which the family had been living in beforehand. There are many experiences I had of going to Iowa City with Mom or Dad or both. One of them is in Toledo when I was coming back home from a 6-week session, and the car, the 61 Plymouth, broke down, and Mom and I stayed overnight there until Dad could come and pick us up about 2 in the morning. And I was in the back seat of the car sleeping, using my laundromat bag as a pillow, and Mom had the front seat. And after they got the car fixed, for some reason I decided I was going to ride along and go back and get her. And it's a long trip down there to pick up the car and to come home. Other experiences I remember from the summer school in Iowa City is getting postcards from Grandpa and Grandma King, and also from the family. I had a favorite softball that I had from Grandpa King down there, and one of my buddies lost it and found it later, rotted out. But 4-H, and I took a pin of 3 to the fair, and Dad and I and Donnie took them down to the fair, and we walked around looking for the empty pin with my name on it to put the pin in there of pigs. And it turned out that I had failed to even register with the county 4-H, and so we had to run uptown with the trailer of 3 pigs and buy some lumber so we could make a panel to divide a square pin into a triangle. Fortunately, they let me join and show the hogs. Other experiences we had at the fair, Donnie, were the scramble calves.
Well, wait, that was talking about the pin of 3. That was the same year I took my Holstein heifer and didn't have a pin. My Holstein heifer's the only one in the beef barn.
Sometimes we learn the hard way, don't we?
Yeah, we didn't know anything about an entry corps.
Does that credit go to our 4-H ladies? Dale Jansen and Dick Harkin?
Yeah, and Dad.
Dad.
How many scramble calves did you get?
1.
I got 1, and Bernie got 1. No, Bernie got 2. David 1, Paul 1. And somebody kicked the halter over to me. Judge caught it, took the halter away from me, so I had to let the calf go.
What about Myrtle?
A milk cow.
Yeah, that's a memory.
What was her real name?
Myrtle
Milk Santa.
Augustine Leader Queen.
Milk Santa.
Yeah, I milked her by a single milking machine and hauled the milk to the house every day. And in the wintertime, I led the cow over to the farrowing house and milked it in where it was warm.
That's right.
Led her back to the cow yard.
What was in the cow yard? The beef cows?
I think other heifers, wasn't it?
Oh no, that's why I was asking you. I don't remember. We used to sit around the table and we each had our spot. And then towards the wall we had that black bench.
Yeah.
There's been a time or two where the whole roll all of a sudden would tip over backwards. And I think later on we switched places as the younger ones got older. And then, I know I sat on the table in the corner by Dad.
I sat by Greg.
Sure, we all had our places that we remembered.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, stop it. It's all the arguing we did about the kitchen.
What are you? Oh my God, you really told it. I didn't mean to.
Sure, that's what all you say. Look at Chuck. Did you Chuck? How we did the kitchen work. First we started out that whoever cleared the table, we both cleared the table, and then you did the floors and I did the kitchen cupboards.
And you want to put the stuff on the floor and you can run with the cow.
No, you did that, but you were always mad because I always put the dishes anywhere. Johnny used to get mad because all we did is serve hamburger, and he could always say, well, I cooked it because the hamburger was burned. Well, you remember how we used to have hamburger, beans or potatoes, corn, and hamburger?
Right.
The next meal was all mixed together.
And also, I went to a 4-H thing one time at Joe Nice's. It was Mother's Day program. We played like a dating game or newlywed game, I guess it was. And they asked what your favorite meat was. And I just bawled afterwards because Mom said my favorite meat was hamburgers. I could over hamburger.
You remember the one, when was the last time you kissed your mom?
Yes, that was in there too. Sorry, Mom. I know it would take you a while to kiss all 2 kids.
Yeah. Anyway, another, we always had to scrub the floor because there's always this pile of food on the floor. And
But your friends always called right at the right time, so you could get out and get your
I
work.
trained him well.
And I know that, yeah, you trained him. You was called real quietly, call me, will ya? And then you get out of the work,
I
and
did
I would have
not.
to finish up.
Did not. Do you remember how jealous you were of me when I finally made National Honor Society? Because you said, that's one thing I was going to get that you did.
I don't remember that. I just think you follow me wherever I go. I get a job at the Big Chief.
Oh,
Barb got a job
I
at the Big
wanted to be
Chief.
just like you
I
when
went
I
to
grew
school
up.
at UNI. Barb went to school at UNI. I get a job on campus, and Barb gets it right down the
I was
hallway. And then, well, I guess that's when you found me. Oh, no, you didn't work at Happy Chef.
Oh, thank God.
No, but she followed me wherever I went.
Okay, that's
Barb, remember how we used to go over to Graf and Grandma's? They lived on our farm, and how much fun that was. We'd go over there to play 500. And if Mom was
Rummy, not 500.
oh, we played 500 too, but Laura didn't rummy. And then if Mom was in a bad mood, we just go over
Do
there.
you
and play.
remember, gosh, how could I forget this? One of my memories of growing up is going to be,
Fine.
Mom's coming, let's get to work. We jump upstairs, what can we do? What can we do? Mom's coming. And remember the panic button? We just saw that yesterday.
Because Aunt Mabel was coming.
We're already so scared as soon as Mom came home, we're going to be in trouble because we had to work. Saturday mornings were for working.
And
Do
you
you
know what?
remember how we had to wait on the guys?
Yes, they didn't know how to get up and get their own
Milk.
pork or ketchup.
I need some milk. Like
Remember the milk that had to be pasteurized? It had that thick cream, and we
Yeah.
thought that was good
Yeah.
until we went off to college. But remember,
that business about the sisters waiting on the guys.
Yeah? What about it?
Um, it seems like you're talking about 2, if not maybe just 1 meal a day, and what, 2 hours out of the day, and talking about the rest of the day we're working outside. And as you say, you're sitting down until you hear that Mom's coming.
This is the same argument we had growing up. It's true. That's true. This is one of the brothers that did empty the dishwasher very well. He's the best emptying the dishwasher growing up.
Just did it this week too.
But one of my memories of growing up too is, Bernie, remember when we used to start at the back of the door? We'd chase to see who would get around us. You go that way and I go that way and to see who was the first one back. Don't you remember that?
Upstairs on the living
No,
room?
outside. Outside. We'd have
Oh,
races
around the house.
house.
Yeah, you said around the room.
Okay, another one of my memories of growing up is all the basketball we used to play. And it started out when Dad put up the first basketball hoop in the Quonset. And I think how I got to be a basketball player tough is because Greg and Johnny, I don't remember you, used to play in their work shoes. We used to go up and land on my feet. Then we played out here at the Jeep garage. Then Dad finally built the basketball court July 22nd, 1976, I'm going to say. And we played on basketball. And I remember how Mom and Dad supported us all the way through. How they would go to a junior high game and then maybe a high school game. Or junior varsity and then to see us in varsity.
4 games in one day, they all offer.
Yeah, how much money they spent supporting the Costa school system. And I can always hear Dad. One of my first times of going into a basketball game was, I didn't check in, I just went right up to the bench. And Dad laughed really loud and I was so embarrassed, but other than that, that was it. Other than, he always supported me, I could always hear Dad hollering for us and he was very proud of us. I used to be the best one, he thought I was really good and then you came along and my memories.
They kind of forgot about you.
I was forgotten, but anyway, that's my memories of growing up.
I remember when you scored 48 points one game, and Mavis Ackerman 44.
47. Beeman Conrad scored 22 out of 26 baskets, so did well. Anyway, also all the times on the bean fields. Teresa, I'm sure will elaborate on that, but the bean fields, all the times we sat talking.
Did you ever
playing
get lost?
Oh, you know,
Out there?
I don't quite remember, but I remember my dad talking about it. I did get lost once. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Well, you were probably going to say some of your dad's favorite sayings out in Boothville.
We're off like a herd of turtles.
Won't be long now.
Don't be
Like corn over there keeps getting closer and closer.
Do you remember how he used to wake us up? Helen, Mary, Vince, Teresa, Sharon, Susan. Sunday morning, went to church. Yeah, it was a lot of memories in this house. We're gonna miss it.
Rise and shine.
Yeah, rise and shine.
Mares eat oats and
Okay.
We'll be on shortly, so we're on. Yeah.
Stories, is that what we're here for?
Yeah.
Let's go out to the chinchilla parlor.
Okay, the day Sharon got hurt by the lawnmower, and
I got brain concussion.
I tried to lift the cages off you, but I couldn't quite do it, so I went out and had to get Greg. He lifted the cages up. You were hurting. Grandma came over, hauled you away in a trailer, a little pull wagon, I think, up to the car. That was a day.
How many water faucets did we break out there?
In the chinchilla parlor? I forget how we did that.
What were we, 6 years old and had full responsibility for evening chores? 300 chinchillas that day. Forgot about the water faucets?
Yeah.
Don't you remember when we had to, we'd pull tricks on each other and tighten them up?
Oh, yeah.
Take a hammer and hit it extra hard.
Like we took the vice grip, got it real tight.
Take the vice grip or a hammer and tighten it up. The next guy would come along and we'd either break it tightening it up, or the next guy would break it because he didn't know which way to turn it once it was too tight to do it.
I also remember George Dunn.
Chinchilla chores, we're
Almost.
discussing that.
Yeah, well, oftentimes, of course, we had to give the chinchillas medication. So it was in this rather faint red solution. Just once in a while, like once a month. But one time I was in there washing the bottles, and Greg came in, he was thirsty, and I had the hose hooked up to the water faucet, so he didn't have access to that water. So he goes over to the chinchilla cages, grabs a bottle, and drinks it. Until I recall, Greg, that's a medicated bottle, too.
How many holes did we?
Anyway. Yeah.
We were discussing how many times we broke the sheetrock on the north wall of aisle number 1. From fights and charging into the north wall.
I don't remember fighting.
Ever?
I remember when Paul got to the age where we thought he should contribute to the chinchilla chores, but he wasn't very interested. So there's a little problem there on a couple of days, but that was about the time we ended up getting rid of him anyway, so he never participated too much, I don't think.
I don't remember that.
Well, anyway,
When you spun me on the Ferris wheel,
Put it in neutral and spin it. That one time, that shaft break.
were you part of the reason when I was in the little red seat and it flew off the top? I thought I landed by the house, but that might be an exaggeration.
I don't think I was involved that time.
Well, I remember you and Bernie getting me under the table and cutting my hair off, and finally got it back to the length that was supposed to be at.
After all these years.
Yeah, took a while. But,
It must have been pretty small on the Ferris wheel. We'd hang on that bottom board and go all the way through it, up and around.
that was made, Ferris wheel was made the year Sharon was born, right? I believe so. But, yeah, that was the big hit. That's how my friends, whenever they could come over, they could ride the Ferris wheel, and then they came in for Maid-Rites, potato chips and Jell-O. Do you remember where we used to spend our Halloween?
That's the only way to discuss that, our hobo lunch down here on Halloween. Shoestring
we didn't
potato
go to-
chips, cold meat sandwich,
Yeah,
a
since
lot.
we didn't go trick-or-treating, we got to get a can and go in the basement to eat.
Right here in this very room, and watch the old black and white TV.
That was really special. Yeah, it's our hobo lunch. But,
So,
do you remember when you were running for president of the student council? Vice president, and I had to put a sign on my back at school. It was the first year they actually had campaigning for it.
you had to put a sign on the back?
I didn't, I chose to. I was supporting it.
You were
We-
the only
you-
one that did, right?
Well, then we started putting up pig signs that said Skellen for president.
And I won, right?
Yeah, I believe you won.
I won.
I believe you haven't thanked me for that yet.
Thank you very much. I'll put that on my resume.
But do you have any fond memories of wrestling?
Other than, I used to go down to this wrestling room in sixth period and take a nap every day
I remember that.
for a whole semester. Then one day, for some reason, I woke up, went out into the hall, and the school board was taking a tour of the new facilities and came into the wrestling room as I walked out, all sleepy-eyed. Walked right on by and
I remember with wrestling when you lose weight and you get real thin in here, it made you especially crabby because I couldn't eat potato chips right for the life of me. And there was always eating cereal where you could never let anybody else watch you. And
everybody had that kind of
Dottie used to take the spoon once to get the food in and the second time to get the milk off his chin. But
He put some cabbage in my Wheaties one morning, and I haven't eaten Wheaties since. Couldn't figure out what this stuff was in there, and couldn't find anything in the milk, but there was some
The
cabbage in my
battery's
Wheaties.
going on. It says battery on.
yeah.
It's all right for now.
Whose turtle was it that got lost in the cereal box? Was that Greg's? I remember that. You wanna hit that?
around.
Some of my memories with Paul, other than making me a complete tomboy when I was little.
So you made me a sissy.
No, I didn't. I made you build houses, not play house. It was different. But Paul and I used to do a pretty good job of missing the Jeep when it went off to the other farm to walk beans. Remember where we used to go?
Up on the other side of the hog house.
Take some trucks up there from the sandbox.
Like we always did that. We only did that once.
Oh, there's where we used to hide. Susan, if you can show that camera, I'd like to show you another place where I used to hide. This is our work closet. And if you get in there behind some of the coats, it's how we used to ride in Dad's tractor backwards.
Yeah, I remember that. What do you remember?
I remember it was the H. And when Dad was driving, we'd be our little feet flopping behind. And it's about this wide. I'm not sure how we fit in it. But you were out driving the tractor and everything when you were pretty young. How old were you?
Oh, I started hauling manure in 4th grade. What about you?
First time I drove a tractor, I was in college, and I believe I drove it into the machine shed. That was my only experience. But, and,
What else is interesting?
well, I just remember all the years they supported us with basketball. And Barb and Bernie were talking about how they were so good, but I think we kind of showed them up. Just thought I'd get that little rebuttal in there. But, yeah, we used to have a great time taking those aluminum, what are those sheet metal things, building houses in the back.
In the woods, would make little playhouses.
Yeah, chimneys. Remember smoking the corncob pipes?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember our little adventures going across, probably to Jansen's, to that corn shed? How we used to get attacked by grasshoppers.
Yeah.
And do you remember?
And you think I like cameras?
Oh. So what are you going to miss most about the farm?
Oh, you know, through college and even up to this date, I like to help Dad in the spring and fall. So I miss that.
Do you ever, at least for me, when I come back, I only come back 4 or 5 times a year, but that first feeling when you see the house and coming up the driveway, and then you have Mom come to the door, hello!
We have a lot of memories about getting on that bus to go to school. One of the memories is always sitting upstairs looking out the window for the bus to be up at the corner. And then we start out. But sometimes we're not watching. We look out the window and the bus is here and we grab our stuff and run down and
Get on our bikes, the bus is at the corner.
and Lyle doesn't say good morning, he doesn't say hoot. Poor Lyle.
And when it was really cold, then we hid underneath the bridge until we saw the bus, and then we got out.
I remember when, let's see, there's probably David on down, we ride our bicycles, and we get on our bicycles and pedal, 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 and halfway down, I get my pants caught in the chain, and the bus is at the corner, or at the driveway. And so, I don't know what we did. I remember
David took it out and ripped your pants.
but I had to go to school that way.
And
You
Teresa?
know, speaking of bikes, come on, Pa. When Pa broke his leg, come on, Pa. Tell what your little sister just told you, your big sister.
I don't remember what.
See, Paul doesn't remember much of his
Paul, you're
childhood,
not
so
in.
you'll have to watch this tape a little bit. But Paul, remember when you guys got your new bikes and Paul got his new, with the banana seats, the 3-speed?
Oh, the purple one.
And I got this big Wick of the West. This huge bicycle. But it came in, I can put his cast on the back of my basket. And I used to haul him all over the place. We went up the
I
mile
don't
quarter
remember that.
at one point.
But it was true, because I do.
But the other thing that I think you guys should talk about is how well you get along. Got along.
Okay, this is what Sharon would do.
We both have each other's
First thing,
hair,
I pull her hair,
and she pulls.
I'm like,
Look at these nails. That
Mark,
came from many years
We
of
want to go back
scratching.
and forth.
oh, Susan.
So, what happened?
I would grab Sharon's
And I
hair.
grabbed it and I said, let go!
So I'd let go.
And I yanked. And
Here,
I
one more yank.
won the contest.
Oh, we hated each
But,
other.
Susan, do you remember what you used to do to make yourself have long hair?
Oh, I always wanted to have long hair like Teresa's all the way down my back. So I used to take the
We don't have one here.
the sea cat, what do you call this? The
Armchair
armchair shovel.
Armchair cover.
Cover. Put it on my hair. I pretend I was a nun, or I'd put like sweaters in my hair.
And how many times did you change your clothes a
And
day?
I'd change my clothes
Writing notes.
average of 8 times. I was a sweet little girl.
What about your strawberry? Picking strawberries for Mom?
Did you have the pumpkin patch too?
Yes, one
Oh,
time
the strawberry that.
when I was in 2nd grade, I didn't know, I didn't have anything to do, so I decided I had some pumpkin seeds from Miss Hoffman, and so
I hope I'm doing
at the bottom,
I don't know if I should do that.
I took a little spoon and dropped about 5 seeds or so. Anyway, next spring, this big plant was growing. We couldn't figure out what it was. We didn't want to mow it, but anyway, Mom's like, does anybody know what this is? And, no, I don't. No one knew what it was. And pretty soon it started going down the retaining wall. And little pumpkins started growing, and we had a big pumpkin patch. Little
Do you guys have to take lemonade out to Dad?
Oh, of course we did.
Yeah, that was always kind of special.
I remember
Right
one
in the-
time, must have been kindergarten or before school, that I went out and did something in the field. I don't know if we were combining or cultivating or what. But Dad and I played Crazy Eight.
Oh, of course.
And
Yeah, the little board across
yeah,
the...
we played Crazy Eight, just him and I, and him driving, and I dealing the cards. And we played Crazy Eight, and I had all 4 8s one time.
Oh, let me tell you about the 3 9s.
I don't remember that.
That's all that I need to tell about this.
Can I tell? I don't know how old we were, but we got the... I think that's
And then the
fun.
snowmobile.
That's kind of one. Oh, let me tell about Sharon's stories.
Okay.
Let me start it.
Well, no, there's 3 stories that I remember about Sharon happening out this window. And that sound I'll always remember too. Milk's in. But when Sharon was a little girl, for some reason, bees liked her. And I remember looking out the window, north window upstairs, and seeing Sharon running around the yard with a swarm of bees flying behind her. Another time I looked out that window, David was teaching Sharon how to ride the snowmobile, and he got off, and she came up the driveway, up the hill. Mom and I went from one window to the other window, and saw her go right off the top of the retaining
All
wall.
he told me was push this button and go, and I pushed it and zoom.
He kind of...
Forgot it.
He neglected to tell her the brakes were. She went, we're going from one window to the next to the next. When I saw her, she was airborne. Shot one retainer off to another, and boom!
And I stopped.
And then the other one was when Sharon was helping hold some salads in that were out, and one went right under her legs, and her feet flew up in the air, and she flipped right over.
Right on the gravel.
The funny part was the pig was going one way and I was following the pig.
Do you guys want to talk about the puppies?
Oh yeah.
Born?
Yeah. Our dog
March
Heidi,
21st, 1976.
long time ago.
I was in 3rd grade.
We were Susan and I shared this room right here, and it was a mess. We had clothes everywhere, under the bed, everywhere, wall to wall. And Heidi was in the house that night because the puppies were coming soon, and I heard his whimpering. And I thought of Heidi. I didn't want to go down like this, and get my fingers bit. And I run upstairs and I go, Dad, I think Heidi's got his pups. Thinking Dad would come down, but he doesn't. So I kept going up and down, giving this report. And Susan, you slept through it all, didn't you? And here I go, oh, Dad, there's another puppy. And I come back down, and so Heidi had 9 pups.
But Susan remembers thinking at one time there was 10
I thought there was 10 puppies, so we thought we lost one.
Under the bed.
Oh,
Thinking
it
one
was
of the
just a mess.
puppies
Sharon
were-
and I had this big pile of clothes, and of course that's where he decided to have his baby, so all our clothes had
Nice
all...
and warm spot, sure.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that was pretty
was
exciting.
fun.
But then we cleaned her room the next day because that's where Heidi decided to keep her pups. And you had this mirror, thinking the puppies like to see them, themselves in the mirror. And then one time the mirror fell over.
Stimulate creativity.
And you said, don't ever tell that the mirror fell on the puppies. But that was fun.
Yeah. Just Mary Jo was talking about the merry-go-round with the old sport kids, but we used to go out there and take our ice cream cones.
All the time. I was on the yellow,
Blue.
Sharon was on the blue. Just
the
sit there and
green.
ice cream, just
on
roll
red.
around and round.
We would talk and remember that.
I can't walk. I can't walk.
And then the airplane, Superman.
And then when we'd put like a frisbee down and we'd see how far we could put until we could
Yellow
catch
was
it.
the furthest one out.
Yeah, that was Johnny's.
Did you tell about oh, I went blank.
How about when I
We have a lot of good memories.
The